This evening, President Ali announces major salary adjustments for healthcare workers. Mayor of Georgetown throws stuff beneath a truck to prevent the dismantling of stalls outside the GPHC. Law graduate slain by lover on the west bank of demerara. In the region, Peru protests, at least 5 killed in violent demonstrations, and internationally, UK prepares for a new wave of walkouts. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. On Tuesday, a final notice was given to the vendors occupying spaces along New Market Street between Thomas and East Streets to remove all erected makeshift stalls, sheds, carts, caravans, motor vehicles, and other receptacles used for vending. According to the previous notice, these vendors have been hindering the smooth traffic flow in the vicinity of the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, the main public health institution in the country. The Ministry of Public Works would have served violation notices prior, giving the vendors 7 days to vacate the area. Vendors were reminded that the 7-day period had expired, and teams from the ministry would have begun the removal process on Monday, December 12, 2022. The Minister of Public Works, and by extension the Government of Guyana, urged full compliance with the order to ensure an uninterrupted process. However, last evening, as the ministry executed orders to remove the makeshift stalls from the area amid heavy police presence, the vendors turned up in their numbers, accompanied by the Mayor of Georgetown, to block and put a halt to the removal.
This here is dictatorship, obstruction of what is happening here tonight. And no carver will remove from this place. This is a municipality road, and this will not happen in this country tonight. No dictatorship will not happen in this country. None. If I have to get locked up tonight to save these people bread and butter, I will do it as mayor.
The vendors are asking the Minister of Public Works and the President to meet with them to discuss a way forward. Earlier today, Headline News visited the area and observed that the stalls were still in place. With the fear of being removed and nowhere to ply their daily trade, and a sense of uncertainty as the holidays approach, the question remains in the minds of many. Will the President meet with the vendors to offer a solution, or will the stalls be forcefully removed? Also happening last evening, President Mohammed Irfan Ali announced adjustments to the salaries of healthcare workers across the country.
I am now pleased to announce the following adjustments to the salaries payable to specified positions within the health sector. And these adjustments are on top of the 8% across the board increase already announced. These additional adjustments will take effect from the 1st of January 2023.
The President said the upward adjustment removes anomalies and ensures that healthcare workers enjoy a good salary and a better standard of living. Medical interns, medical officers who have completed up to 3 years of post-employment experience, and specialist doctors such as gynecologists, neurosurgeons, and dermatologists will have their minimum salaries adjusted upwards effective from January 1st, 2023. Nurse aides and patient care assistants, nursing assistants, midwives, staff nurses, and staff nurses midwives will also have their current minimum salary adjusted upwards. Also benefiting from this upward adjustment in their current minimum salary are pharmacy assistants, dental aides and laboratory aides, community health workers, medics, and pharmacists. President Ali said the revision to the salaries of these workers would benefit over 5,000 persons and increase disposable income by over $1.5 billion annually. He made a call for healthcare workers to deliver at the highest level.
We ask of our healthcare workers to deliver at the highest level. We ask you to repay our country with excellent care, with good customer service, with patience and love, with dedication and commitment, with trust and with fulfillment of your oath. These are only some of the long categories of workers in the healthcare system that I've addressed tonight. But I'm pleased to say that our healthcare system is not only getting stronger from an infrastructure perspective, from a medical perspective, from a skill perspective, from a human resource perspective. But now, with this announcement, it is getting stronger from a welfare perspective.
Recently, the president announced the first phase of additional adjustments to the salaries of selected categories of employees of the discipline service. These adjustments will all take effect from January 1st, 2023. We now bring you a tragic news story as police on the west bank of the Demerara are investigating a murder-suicide which occurred at Bell West Canal Number 2, West Bank Demerara earlier today. According to reports, the man, a barber, identified as Peter Charles, and his partner were inside a Nissan X-Trail when he allegedly shot her, then turned the gun on himself. The young woman, identified as Ashasha Ramzan, had recently graduated from law school and worked at the Attorney General's chambers. Regional Commander Mahendra Srinarayan said investigators are on the scene. Headline News will bring you more at a subsequent time as the story unfolds. Stick around after the break. 2 Brazilian nationals go missing in the Mazaruni River, and prison officers observed a male throwing a bag over the Lusignan prison fence.
Last year, we couldn't celebrate Christmas as we wanted to, so for this year, we had everything planned. 100,000 watts of lights, 10 feet tall tree, the best table ever, custom t-shirts, live shows, DJ. And we also had Uncle Mario, who forgot the KFC buckets in the car with the keys inside.
Step back!
This Christmas is to be enjoyed no matter what. Let's savor this Christmas.
Shop at John Lewis Styles in December, and you could win one Amazon Echo Show every day. Yes, every day. And that's not all. 4 persons will win $500,000 to spend in the store. Just imagine $500,000 to spend on clothing, footwear, watches, fragrances, handbags, luggage, and accessories. So shop now at John Lewis Styles to win one Amazon Echo Show every day and $500,000 to spend in the store. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Give your home or office some shine. Fortune Investment Company. We provide reliable commercial and residential professional cleaning services in Guyana. We clean homes and commercial offices. Other services offered are floor care and tile polishing, interior auto detailing services, power washing, weeding and cleaning, and carpet, couch, and mattress cleaning. We are committed to keeping your homes and offices squeaky clean. Call us now at 592-689-7558 or 592-639-6365 or visit us at 3430 Jackson North Rumville, Georgetown, Guyana. Fortune Investment Company. When we say clean, we mean spotless.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Two Brazilian nationals have been reported missing in a river mishap in the vicinity of Looking Glass Falls in the Amazon River on Sunday, December 11, 2022. The foreign nationals, identified only as Yapao and Bartolomeu, they went missing sometime around 7 a.m. According to a police report, the boat captain Sandro Sarve of Bartica Region 7, along with 52-year Brazilian businessman Ures de Morales, 61-year-old Carlos Santos of Regent Street, Georgetown, and 21-year-old Dylan Pereira of Perica East Bank, Essequibo, and the two missing men left Bartica for Poppy Show in the Mazaruni River on Sunday. Savory told the police that whilst navigating the river in the vicinity of the Looking Glass Falls, the boat came into contact with a strong wave that broke the boat's bow and tossed everyone overboard. The two Brazilians disappeared while the others swam to safety and were rescued 2 hours later by a passing boat. Efforts were made to locate the missing men, but this has proven futile. The survivors received injuries to their bodies and were escorted to the Bartica Regional Hospital, where they were all seen, examined, and later sent away, the police reported. Meanwhile, the boat captain is in custody at the Bartica police station, assisting with the investigations. Quick action by prison officers at the Lusignan prison led to the discovery and subsequent seizure of a quantity of cannabis and cocaine at the Lusignan prison on Monday, December 12th. Reports say that an officer on the southern watchtower at the Lusignan prison, performing duties, observed an unidentified male throwing a bulky black bag over the southern fence of the prison. Ranks from the Regional Division 4C went to the southern fence of the prison compound, where they observed a bulky parcel wrapped with black plastic and transparent tape. A search of the parcel unearthed 13 compressed packets containing a number of leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis, along with a small transparent Ziploc plastic bag with a powder and rock-like substance suspected to be cocaine. The suspected drugs were taken to the Vigilance Police Station, where they were weighed. The cannabis amounted to over 800 grams and the cocaine amounted to over 4 grams. The illegal drugs were sealed and lodged as investigations are ongoing. Don't go away after the break. UK prepares for a new wave of walkouts and what to expect as the US-Africa Summit kicks off in Washington.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our stores, you're welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries, and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. However, Maison Francois is more than just chocolate. We serve lunch, dinner, afternoon tea, and even Sunday morning mimosa brunch. Our convenient location at 133 Thomas Street, Kitty, makes it the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. Treat yourself with the taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown. Only at Maison Francois.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Shop at John Lewis Styles in December, and you could win one Amazon Echo Show every day. Yes, every day. And that's not all. 4 persons will win $500,000 to spend in the store. Just imagine $500,000 to spend on clothing, footwear, watches, fragrances, handbags, luggage, and accessories. So shop now at John Lewis Styles to win one Amazon Echo Show every day and $500,000 to spend in the store. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. At least 5 people have been killed and a dozen injured in violent protests in Peru. Al Jazeera's Mariana Sanchez reports from Lima.
Nearly 2,000 protesters overran the airport in Arequipa, Peru's second largest city. They blocked access and clashed with police. Main highways in several regions remained blocked. Peru's political turmoil is growing, with people protesting in large and small cities, in the center, south and north of the country. For some, the demonstrations have turned deadly. The family of 17-year-old Beckham Romario Quispe is devastated by his death.
My mother is very hurt because he has been killed like in a slaughterhouse. He was a student, an athlete. My mom wants justice.
On Monday, flights were cancelled, bus terminals closed. Tourism officials say 1 million passengers have been affected. Castillo freedom, they shout in front of the jail where former President Pedro Castillo is under arrest following last week's failed coup. Castillo's allies say he is the legitimate president, not Dina Boluarte.
Dina Boluarte must resign. She is the one who perpetrated a coup. She was a leftist and now she sold herself to the right.
From his cell, Castillo said in a handwritten letter that he's been kidnapped, mistreated, humiliated, and accused Boluarte of stealing the presidency. In a message on national TV early Monday, only 5 days after being sworn in, the new president said she will send a bill to Congress advancing elections to April 2024, 2 years before she should finish her term.
Many people here are supporters of former President Pedro Castillo, and they say that whatever Dina Boluarte says or does, they will not believe in her because they call her a traitor.
These protesters say Boluarte must resign and Castillo should come back.
We want another election. We want the president to be reinstated because he is unjustly imprisoned.
Peru has been immersed in political turmoil with 6 presidents since 2016. Now most protesters are demanding that new general elections are simply not enough. Mariana Sanchez, Al Jazeera, Lima, Peru.
Internationally, the government in the United Kingdom has held an emergency meeting to discuss contingency plans for a wave of strikes. Workers across the UK are demanding pay rises to keep up with the soaring cost of living. The disruption is expected to affect several sectors over the Christmas holiday period. Al Jazeera's Jonah Hall reports from London.
In 27 years as a paramedic, Steve Johnson says he's never seen the ambulance service so short-staffed, the National Health Service so overstretched. Ahead of a planned ambulance strike next week, Steve says if the government doesn't offer a significant pay increase, he, like many of his colleagues, may quit.
So this isn't just about pay, although that is the main issue, but at the moment we have devastating staff shortages. We've got record number of vacancies across the NHS, across the ambulance sector. In fact, the Health and Social Care Committee up in Parliament have stated we're experiencing the greatest workforce crisis in the history of the NHS, and it's unsustainable.
The coming days and weeks will see already striking postal workers joined by paramedics, along with railway and airport staff, the border force, bus drivers, and for the first time in the history of their union, nurses.
We're seeing a wave of industrial action, and that's in response to 12 years of the government holding down public sector workers' pay. We know that the pay awards given by government this year amount to real terms pay cuts on the back of that long pay squeeze for public sector workers.
The Trades Union Congress says about a third of key public sector workers are in the process of quitting or considering it. That includes 34% of education workers and 31% in the health sector. While NHS nurses are calling for a 19% pay rise, the government is offering 4 to 5%. Rail workers want a 7% increase. The government is offering them 4 or 8% over 2 years. And Royal Mail workers are asking for a 9% raise. They're being offered 7% over 2 years plus a lump sum. The government is refusing to give any more ground, warning that public sector pay rises will only fuel inflation itself, already eating away at workers' real wages, and that pay hikes will eventually have to be paid for by the public in tax rises. The strikes come at a crucial moment, not just during Christmas and the winter cold when many public services are needed most, but also in the midst of a cost of living crisis, driving many of the poorest and most poorly paid further into poverty. And strikes are expensive for both sides. In a battle of attrition over this festive season of discontent, it'll be a question of who can sustain the cost of strike action longest. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera, London.
And finally, the Biden administration is hoping to rekindle America's relationship with Africa during the second U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit, which began on Tuesday. The United States hopes to court African nations while sidestepping China, which is rapidly expanding its footsteps across the continent. Al Jazeera's Mohammed Jamjamoon reports from Johannesburg.
When American President Barack Obama hosted African leaders at the first U.S.-Africa Summit in 2014, many believed it was a great chance for the United States to strengthen its trade ties with the continent and reaffirm political commitments. But in the end, business opportunities turned mostly into a photo opportunity. At a distribution warehouse in Johannesburg for American-owned company John Deere, which manufactures, among other things, agricultural equipment, team members are more hopeful about the second summit.
It's going to allow dialogue around the opportunities, the benefits that are currently the companies currently delivering in Africa, and also, most importantly, highlight the challenges to our African leaders that our people on the ground, our customers, our farmers are currently facing.
The big question now, just how much can 3 days of meetings accomplish? According to the U.S. State Department, South Africa is America's biggest trade partner on the continent, with goods worth $21 billion exchanged last year. Economists here are optimistic about the potential of strengthening that relationship during the summit. They say the market here is ready for more trade with the U.S., but they also warn that South Africa will have to tread carefully. That's due mostly to China and, to a lesser degree, Russia, at a time of great geopolitical tensions between those countries and the United States. As part of BRICS, a grouping of the major emerging economies of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, the South African government would not want to alienate either Beijing or Moscow as it seeks even warmer ties with Washington. International relations professor Gilbert Kadiagala says during this summit, China will most definitely be the elephant in the room.
China has made a lot of inroads in Africa, particularly in infrastructure and engaging with a lot of African countries.
China is Africa's largest two-way trading partner. In 2021, that value of trade hit $254 billion. And while U.S. President Joe Biden's administration is concerned about China's growing footprint in Africa, American officials continue to insist African nations should not be forced to pick sides.
The United States will not dictate Africa's choices. Neither should anyone else. The right to make these choices belongs to Africans, and Africans alone.
A diplomatic tightrope to be sure, but one the U.S. hopes can be navigated successfully. Mohammed Jamjoom, Al Jazeera, Johannesburg.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now to 3 the weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Update. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.